Isn't it funny how, if we think about it, probably all of us have some story of our favorite gift. So let me just ask you for a second, okay? Somebody over here, just yell out, what's the best gift you ever received? Come on, don't be shy. Say it again. Your horse. Holy mackerel, everybody wants a pony. She actually got one. That's amazing. That's, okay. Someone else, the best gift you ever got? Say it again. A Barbie van. A Barbie van. All right, okay. Is that a full-size Barbie van? I mean, no, a Barbie van. Someone else? Okay. Say it one more time. Being united with your family, reunited. That's great. Very good. Very good. I think we all have a story. I was thinking, kind of like Jay just shared, was thinking about some time ago, I'd opened my planner, and in the back of my planner, for some reason, some time ago, I had written down the names of the different drum sets that I had all in my life. And I realized that each one of those drum sets kind of had some spatial memories attached to it, according to the age and what I was doing and some of those kind of things. But undoubtedly, the most spatial drum set that I ever received, that I ever had in my life, was my very, very first one. And I would tell you that early on in my life, I was tapping and stuff and rapping on things, and if I had pencils in my hands at school, I was rapping on the desk, and I think my folks kind of saw that in me, and so probably by my second grade year, I was asking for a drum set a lot. I mean, like all the time. And so when I was in third grade, Christmas came around, and we were getting ready to head to my grandparents' home, their farm in northeast Missouri. And being the incredibly spiritually Christ-like child that I was, I volunteered to help my dad pack the car. Wink, all right? Alas, no drum set. None. I was bummed. And I don't know what at that point in time, I don't know what kids have visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. But actually, at that point in time, my dream that Christmas Eve night was everyone dancing to me playing the drum set that I was going to get for Christmas. I was excited about that. And I might add, just for a little flavor, that my grandparents lived on a farm in a 4-room house, and that actually my brother and I would sleep on the fold-out couch, which was in the living room, and that's where Santa came, okay? And so my mom and dad would wait, and they would wait for us to fall asleep, and then they would do that thing, okay? I hope I didn't squelch any dreams there, all right? And I laid there that night with one eye open as long as I could, probably about 4 minutes before I fell asleep. But I remember thinking before I fell asleep, alas, no drum set. But when I woke up the next morning, only feet away from where I lay, sat the most beautiful gold, shiny little drum set, sparkling in the light of my grandmother's twinkling Christmas tree. It was amazing. Now, I know that we have all received gifts before that we just thought we wanted so bad and that we needed so bad, but they ended up with dust on or under a blanket in the corner or whatever, but not my drum set. Oh no, I wore that drum set out. When I was mad, I would beat that drum set. And when I was sad, I would play my drums. And when I was glad, well, you get the picture. I love those drums. So let me ask you a question. Who do you know that gives really good gifts? I mean, like the best gift giver in your family. You have one of those? We do. My son Dylan has got that knack for giving gifts that he just kind of senses what you need. Now, I'm not talking about like the need like Aunt Lula always bought us socks. Not that kind of need. We all have an Aunt Lula, don't we? Sorry if you're Aunt Lula. Hey, God's the best giver ever, right? And you know, it might sound crazy to you sitting out there this morning, but I think that God knew this third grade boy needed a drum set. And this isn't about me being a great drummer or even being a drummer at all. This is about God being the greatest gift giver ever. That he keeps placing gifts in your life and my life that will allow us to feel his pleasure, to know how good of God he is. And this God is a God who gives us tools, we might say, to allow us to express what he is doing in our life. And he gives us opportunities to share his gifts with others. So that it adds, as we share what he is doing, it adds this unique expression, you might say. I think back to those drums. And for me, in junior high, when a lot of kids and myself are struggling with and trying to grasp what their faith means, I would put a Christian rock and roll song on, and I would play along with that, and I would sing, and I couldn't sing, but it didn't matter because my voice couldn't be heard above the crash of the cymbals anyway. But I can still remember those songs. I think about my drum set. And when I was playing some rock and roll music with the band in high school, some music I probably should not have been playing, God took me. And that spring, he gave me an opportunity to spend the summer playing with a Christian band. And all summer long, I played his music for his people. And isn't it ironic that that was a summer that God called the 17-year-old into the ministry? He gave me a chance when I went to college to play with a band, and we literally traveled all over the country. And I had the opportunity to play my drums for him and see all kinds of people being taught through music and being challenged and encouraged. I got the idea of what it looked like to work for the kingdom. you know, people have often said, I love to watch you play drums. Now note, I have rarely heard anyone say, I love to listen to you play drums. But I think that they sense that I enjoy it, that it's something God has placed in me, maybe. I don't know if any of you remember the movie, some of you, the movie Chariots of Fire. Chariots of Fire was about a man by the name of Eric Liddell, and he was the son of Scottish missionaries who decided he would not run the best event he was best in the 1924 Olympics in Paris because it was run on a Sunday morning, and he considered that the Sabbath. But he did go ahead and compete in something he wasn't even that good at, the 400 meter, and he won that medal. He won the gold medal in something he wasn't even very good at. Eric Liddell once said, when I run, I feel his pleasure. I can tell you that when I play drums, I feel his pleasure. It's pure joy. It's pure joy because it's found in the gift that he has given me and the expression of that gift. He is, folks, the perfect gift giver. And he gives us, along with a Savior, along with deliverance, along with hope and the joy and the peace and all these things that we read in these passages. He not only gives us those gifts that we celebrate on this day, but he also gives us unique expressions of personality and experiences and talents and gifts so that when we share his gift of salvation and deliverance with us and how it has affected my life and your life, then we do that in a unique way so others see him more powerfully. Let me ask you, what did you see? What have you seen as you as you read through Luke 2, if you're participating in that study and that journaling of the book of Luke with us? I see the shepherds running to Bethlehem with this expectation of kids gathering at the Christmas tree, and they find him, this gift that has been promised and announced. And it's a small bundle. It's a baby in a manger. Who would have thought? Oh, sometimes our greatest gifts come in the smallest of packages. My drum set was a big gift, but one of the most special gifts I've ever received in my life was in the smallest of packages. Our son Dylan, that great gift giver, gave me a bracelet a number of years ago, and it had the latitude and the longitude of a place that he and I had stayed for several days in Ireland at a time when we needed to spend some time together. What a precious gift in a small package. And as the shepherds behold the small bundle, seeing is believing. This is their Savior. This is their Messiah. This is their Lord. And they believed the gift and they received the gift that God had for them. And this, then Luke will write in verse 17, after seeing him, the shepherds told everyone of what had happened and what the angel had said to them about this child. Wouldn't you love to watch this? I mean, think about it as they leave the baby and as they run back through Bethlehem and they go back to their fields and they're telling everybody they see, and there's old shepherds and they're laid back shepherds and they're quiet shepherds and they're young shepherds and they're demonstrative shepherds, and they're talking over one another, and their experiences and their gifts and all their personalities are coming out as they share what they have encountered, this good news with their unique expression, the gift that God has placed in them. And as the people listened, they observed the dirt and the smell of sheep and the limited vocabulary of these poor shepherds. And they may not have known these men, but they could tell. They were shepherds, and so they knew the pain and unpleasantness of their livelihood. And those shepherds who received the gift of God with such joy because of their need now passed on that gift to others through the gifts that God had given them. The message that they shared was even more powerful because people observed and smelled and saw these shepherds. They shared the good news from who they were and their lot in life. And Luke will write, and all who heard the shepherd's story were astonished. Folks, if there was anything that convinced those who heard this good news that this Messiah was also for them, all men, maybe it was not so much the message, just the words of the message, but it was who was speaking the message. God had chosen to send the Messiah and the message of the Messiah to these shepherds, and they were sharing only as shepherds would. There was a great joy in receiving that gift from God. But today, this morning, we can be reminded of this as well, that there is as much joy in giving and sharing of the gift as there is in the receiving. And that joy in giving away his gift is increased both by the need and response of those we are giving it to and by the sacrifice and effort in the making and giving of the gift. Now, there's more gift giving to be found in Luke 2. Approximately 40 days later, Joseph and Mary will take their baby, now named Jesus, to the temple in Jerusalem. And there, according to Jewish law, because they were Jews, they present him to the Lord. They, if you would, present him. They give him back to God. And they offer the sacrifices allowed for those who are in poverty. It's one of the ways that we know that their lot in life was one of poverty. And Mary and Joseph have been given a great gift by God with amazing responsibility for this young couple. And they have been given this sacred trust from God. If you can imagine of raising his only begotten Son, now sent to earth. Whoa. Their presenting of their son Jesus back to God. It's their recognition that before he was their son, he was his son. And the dedication of Jesus at the temple would serve continually, no doubt, in their mind as they raised this child, a reminder that as Jesus grew up and was committed to serve his Father, they were going to see him do things that they did not understand, they might not even agree with, and yet they knew he was his before he was theirs. And on that same day, as Joseph and Mary are presenting Jesus to the Lord, Simeon and Anna are there in the temple. And again, as we talked about last night, Simeon holds this child and Anna comes and beholds this child. Can I ask, knowing that both have waited nearly all their life for this to happen, what makes a gift more special than long expectancy and need? Oh, Simeon breaks out in praise, as does Anna. And this is not a commanded gift of praise. Oh, this is not praise from Simeon and Anna that is scripted in any way. This is not dutiful praise. I know I'm supposed to do this. No. This is a spontaneous praise of long expectancy and neediness. People who have been waiting for this Messiah, this hope, for years and years and decades. Simeon calls out, I have seen your salvation, which you have prepared for all people. This is a present for everyone. He is a light to reveal God to the nations, and he is the glory of your people, Israel. This is the heartfelt, spontaneous cry of a mother whose lost child has now been found and is delivered home. That's the kind of spontaneity that is in this praise from the bottom of the heart. And Anna, as a gift from God, as a prophet, that her experience in her life of a long, sad story as a widow, her story that people there, I'm sure, probably knew because she was there all the time. They would know as well her faithfulness at being in God's presence every day. And now Anna would give the gift of the newly come Messiah to others that she met. Luke says she talked about the child to everyone who had been waiting expectantly for God to rescue Jerusalem. I'm so glad we're together. So glad we're together. And on this day, as followers of Jesus, we gather to celebrate with great joy the most special gift that has ever been given to us, the gift of salvation, made possible by the gift of God to us through his son, Jesus. But maybe even the greater joy today and all other days will us be giving that gift to others through the voices that God has given you and I, those unique voices, the personality he has given us, the talents, our life experiences, our spiritual gifts. Mary Oliver wrote, if you suddenly and unexpectedly feel joy, don't hesitate. Give in to it. And I believe we feel that joy if we express what God has done in our life through our experiences and through who we are. It adds weight to the message, credibility to the message. We will receive the gifts today with joy. We will celebrate the giving of that gift with joy. And we're gonna give gifts today. We're gonna gather around the tree or wherever you do it, and we're gonna give those gifts with much joy. It's a busy season, isn't it? Can I just encourage you, my friends? Can I encourage you to pour the coffee, to make the hot tea, to look for a quiet place, and to maybe, we're always told not to count our gifts, but I'm going to encourage you today to count the gifts that God has given you. Not only the gift of salvation, but the unique things that he has placed in you so that you can share his gift with others in a unique way. Number those gifts, those unique, special gifts God has placed in you so that you might share the good news. In 2013, let's continue to be grateful for the gift that God has given us. And let's look for ways that we can take the gifts he has placed in us to share the unique and wonderful and good news of Jesus, who has saved us and wants us simply to go and tell others.